Hey, what's up, everybody? Okay, so we're over here today with Dog Culture Review, and we're checking out the zombies. We're just hanging out with some zombies right here. So it turns out that some scientists got together to figure out why zombies act the way that they act, what's going on with them. And turns out it's their brains. Their brains are screwed up. The lobes in their brain are damaged or missing or atrophied. So let's have a look at these zombies and see if this kind of sounds like dog culture. Are dogs like zombies? Are dog owners like zombies? Well, you got some homework. I'm going to put some links down in the description. Have a look at the monkey sister experiment. That's an experiment where they put a chimp with a baby, thinking that the chimp will end up acting like a human, but the baby human ends up acting like a chimp. Um, that's very relatable to what we're going to have a look at. And look up obesity in America with little kids. Look up obesity with dogs. In America, we have a huge portion of the dog market, and putting these children with dogs could be having an effect on them because of the way that dogs act and because of what we've already proven in the monkey sister experiment. Okay, so let's have a look at this article. We got an article in front of us here. It's talking about some zombies. So what are they talking about? Well, let's just highlight some stuff here. Well, the zombies, they have a desire to eat people due to damage in their cortex. Okay, so that's why the zombies bite people, is because their brain is messed up. All right, that kind of sounds like dogs a little bit. Insatiable hunger, yeah, that kind of sounds like dogs. They're constantly eating. We're constantly having to give them treats. All right, so we got a picture of the zombie's brain. Here's that thing about the cortex I was kind of wanting you guys to look up just for your homework. Look up the dog brain and the human brain, and look up what lobes that the dog brain doesn't have. It's very important to understand why a dog acts the way it does and the lack of potential that dogs have. So the scientists, they came up with two types of zombies here. You see they got the CHHD zombie 1 and the CHHD 2. So these are slow zombies and fast zombies, they say. All right. So that kind of reminds me of dogs too. Like sometimes you got like a German Shepherd or a bully breed, right? And that's kind of like these zombies right here. They pretty much can look at you and charge at you and have a kind of a plan and come after you. Then you got these like slow, uncoordinated zombies. That's kind of like the Boston Terriers or the Chihuahuas. They're just like they'll start barking at you, then they'll start barking at each other. Completely uncoordinated, just going after whatever. All right, so here's talking about the scientist here. Got some pictures. So they're calling this thing, that's the CDHD I was telling you about. They call it a conscious deficit hypoactivity disorder. So that's low activity in your brain. Basically, you're unconscious. Did you ever notice that dogs kind of act like that? They got that dead eye look, especially the pit bulls, just like they're just waiting for something to chomp on. They're just waiting to get triggered. So lack control over their actions right here is what it says is the result of this disorder. So yeah, that makes sense. Dogs lack control over their actions. So do dog owners. And dog owners will be fighting amongst each other down at the dog park and stuff. All right, here we got a picture of some zombies. What else does it say? Okay, here's some reasons why you might become a zombie: space radiation, chemical weapons. Oh, that reminds me of dogs. We feed dogs full of all types of prescription medication all the time. Prozac. Then we got to give them flea medications that cause them seizures. Yeah, did you know, speaking of chemical weapons, seizures are caused by flea medications that we give dogs. And every time a dog has a seizure, a part of its brain dies because of lack of oxygen. So when your dog recovers from a seizure, it's basically one step closer to becoming just a zombie. We got the biological infections. Yeah, dogs are full of parasites. Genetic manipulation. Oh, yeah. Dogs are nothing but a bunch of mutants. They've been forcibly inbred. They're forced to basically rape each other to get those pedigree dogs. So, yeah, genetic manipulation is a huge part of dogs. Parasites, yeah. Magic. Okay. Supernatural possession, depression, some of the reasons. Isn't that what they say about dogs that attack little kids? Oh, he was scared. Oh boy. Okay, so let's read a little bit more. Okay, we're starving the brain of oxygen and glucose. Yeah, that sounds like dogs when they have seizures. Speaking of being starved of oxygen and glucose, when people feed dogs all the time, you're just spiking their insulin, and that's not good for your brain. All right, so extensive damage to the brain. All right, the brains of both types of zombies would change in different regions. Yeah, it makes sense. All right. So, how do we survive from these zombies? All right, so don't fight. Yeah, if you fight a dog, unless you're really, really skilled, you're gonna get torn up unless you have like a tear resistant, thick denim sleeves and stuff. Okay, so I guess you're supposed to keep quiet too. Yeah, isn't that what they tell kids? Don't upset the little dog. Move slow. Keep quiet. Don't attract their attention. You know, anything you do freaking triggers these dogs. Distract them. Okay, yeah. So I mean that makes sense. You could throw a hot dog or make a noise, and the dog will. You can easily trick a dog by distracting them. Okay, outrun them. All right, all right. So yeah, it says that wouldn't work with the faster zombie though. So that makes sense too. Like you can't outrun a pit bull or another bigger dog usually, but you can outrun like a Boston Terrier or one of those Chihuahuas. Don't try to reason with the zombie. Yeah, that makes sense too. You try to start baby talking one of these dogs or making those little squeaky sounds. Oh hi buddy, buddy. Yeah, no, that ain't gonna freaking help you. Okay, so mimic them. So you can mimic a zombie, they say. So that kind of reminds me of this scene right here from Shaun of the Dead. Um, Dog owners. If you're like at a park or at a restaurant where there's a bunch of problems being caused by dogs, if you try to talk to a dog owner, you'll probably get in a fight. Even dog owners talking to other dog owners when their dogs cause problems for their dogs, it's a fight. It's like these zombies right here. But if you mimic a dog owner, if you just act like, oh, it's okay, I love puppers, oh, the poop all over my shoe, and my child being knocked down, and my bag of chips getting scarfed down by your dog, it's okay, ha ha ha, we have dogs at home. If you mimic a dog owner, yeah, you can get out alive. All right, well, so what else did they say? The cerebellum region of the brain plays an important role in motor control. Hmm. Severe coordination difficulties. Yeah, that kind of sounds like dog owners, like little kids at home being knocked over by their dogs. People that are walking dogs, like they're just getting pulled all over, tugged all over, chasing their dog all over. If they have good coordination, they're definitely not putting it to use with their dog. So it says here that zombies are short-sighted. They have poor eyesight and visual impairment. Yeah, I can see dogs doing that too. Like they attack their owner, they attack the baby that they've lived with for a few years. Like, oh, all of a sudden, I see an enemy. That sounds kind of like dogs. So, damage to the median temporal lobe in the hippocampus is responsible for memory, navigation, which means that zombies couldn't form new memories and would find it hard to find their way around towns. Okay, well, that's like dogs too. They don't have any spatial awareness. They can't actually form like a plan. I'm going to go here, stop here, turn the corner. And when you live with a dog, it's also hard for you to form spatial awareness, planning in your head, because you're constantly having to adjust everything you do. I'm going to go to the store. Well, I got to turn over here and get some treats for the dog, or walking around your house or walking in the park. You're constantly having to not create proper spatial awareness in your head for the shape of the dog. So that lobe in your brain is getting used less. It could atrophy. Poor eyesight, visual impairment. Yeah, that sounds like dogs. So the inability to suppress appropriate responses, such as the desire to eat people. Yeah, dogs cannot freaking they can't control their emotions and their impulses. It's like if you reach in your pocket around a dog owner and the dog sees it, they think it's food. Like, I gotta eat, I gotta eat. So lesions to the frontal cortex is talking about. So yeah, dogs have a tiny frontal cortex, no prefrontal cortex, and dog owners use their frontal cortex less because they're around the dog. Go back and look at the monkey sister experiment that I talked about. Okay, so what else do they got to say about the zombies? Okay, zombies have insomnia, problems with the hippocampus. Okay. It kind of reminds me of dog owners that have barking all the time. Like they lose sleep. Like dog owners do these huge videos of sleep loss. And it's like, do you ever notice that people that own dogs will allow their dogs to bark all the time and sit there and lose sleep? Well, if you're not sleeping, then those areas of your brain that are connected to sleep will also atrophy. You need sleep to have a proper brain. So are these dog owners actually sleeping when their dogs bark all day? I don't think so. All these lobes that are damaged, it causes impulsive aggression right here. So that's like dogs too. So zombies, they don't respond emotionally to sensory information. That's like dogs too. They don't understand what's going on with somebody. If a child cries and a dog gets surprised or irritated, the dog doesn't think like, oh, okay, well, the baby's just having a rough day. I'll go over here and get out of the way. No, the dog's gonna run around, jump up, get attention, make everything worse. So they even talk about the tapeworms in the brain that humans get. Now, some of those tapeworms are actually from dogs. So read this little blue highlight. Areas necessary for anger, hunger, smelling, seeing, biting, and other basic movements remain intact, while obliterating areas that produce complex thoughts, make proactive decisions, or consciously form and recall memories. Yeah, dogs don't make any type of proactive decisions. They're just running around being reactive. And if we put enough food down their throats, yeah, they'll seem to be okay and they'll constantly beg for food and mimic our facial movements. But there is no real complex memory, no thoughts. And so dogs are like zombies in so many ways. And for us to be hanging around these zombies, that's going to mess with us too. The monkey sister experiment proves this, and there's other experiments like that. You're basically hijacking your brain, kind of like these zombie insects, by having a dog in your life. It starts from the time that you're born. You can even get brain damage from being around dogs when you get knocked on your face as a little kid. The prefrontal lobe is damaged when you fall down from being knocked over by a dog. So yeah, that's a look at these zombies and how it relates to dog culture. And what's your guys' favorite zombie movie? I really like Dawn of the Dead. They don't have that one here, but it's where they're in the mall. And Shaun of the Dead's pretty good too. It's pretty funny. Um, but what other things in society have you noticed that's kind of related to zombies and the way that dogs act? Dogs have a similar brain as a zombie. No prefrontal lobe, no emotion, no empathy, just eat, eat, eat. I mentioned before childhood obesity and obesity in dogs. Look at how obese dogs are all over America because we feed them, trying to keep them from doing bad stuff. That's what trainers do. Trainers constantly have like a little satchel right here, constantly giving them snacks and stuff. It's just like a zombie. You can feed a zombie, and as long as the zombie's eating a bunch of stuff, yeah, you could probably get away from it. It's too busy eating stuff, but yeah. So let's get these zombies their forever homes. It's just how you train them, guys. It's just how you train these zombies. That's all. That's what it's all about. We just gotta train them. But one last thing before I let you guys go and do your homework, I gotta show you this part. Loss of pleasure. So when your brain is screwed up, you have loss of pleasure. Did you ever notice how dog owners, like on social media, they constantly talk about dogs are the best. You got to get yourself a dog, fur daddy. But do you ever see them out in public? They're just freaking irritated, pissy little freaking shits. They're at the dog park fighting and punching each other. Oftentimes, when you see them on a leash, it's like they're just yelling at the dog, get over here, knock it off, leave it, leave it. They're always saying that, leave it, leave it. So, yeah, loss of pleasure. This having a dog is supposed to be so great. But dog owners all over the place, they just spend their life complaining, bickering, hating the expenses of owning a dog. Yet they'll keep getting dogs and they will keep, feeding themselves all of the attention. Like that's what these dog owners do. They lose their pleasure, and then they're like zombies with needing attention. Give me attention. Give me attention. That's another correlation that I just realized talking to you guys. All right. Well, I'll see you guys later. Make sure and do your homework and study up on these zombie brains. And see you guys later.